It's early February, and if you go to Menards, you may notice that the amount of shelf space allotted for trains is slowly shrinking. Summer items and pool supplies are returning, and Menards will probably move all of the buildings, track and boxcars back upstairs pretty soon. The selection is somewhat picked through. What's left now are mostly the older O-scale buildings, some tubular track, and a few complete train sets. Menards doesn't really mark down their seasonal merchandise, not like Walmart, for example, who will take 50% or more off of their Christmas decorations on December 26th. Another week may go by, and then it's 75 or 90% off until it's all gone. Menards doesn't do that. Instead, they move everything upstairs. I'm at the Evendale, Ohio store here, but Menards in Loveland, Ohio, calls that area the attic. And at nearly any time of the year, you can go up there and find Halloween items or stuff for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that area is where you'll find the trains pretty soon. Nearly all will still be full priced. Menards doesn't really mark stuff down as much as Walmart does. A few of these buildings were new for 2025, but many are holdovers from earlier years. Nearly every Menards building has lighting of some sort, so there are still lots of power adapters. There are also quite a few auto carriers, and more than a dozen freight trucks decorated for Santa Fe. They were here last year too, but they're still not marked down. Unlike the majority of vehicles on most Lionel layouts, Menards cars and trucks all seem to be 1/48th scale, which is actually the correct size for O-scale trains. Every car, truck, bus, or tank on my layout, though, well, they're all 1/43rd scale, so they tend to look a little big compared to the trains, but I committed to 1/43rd scale a long time ago, and that's what I'll stick with. When I watch videos of other people's layouts here on YouTube, I can recognize a lot of the buildings from Menards. The freight cars, buildings, and track were probably among the first train items offered by Menards. How many years ago? At least 7 or more. A lot of the bigger buildings offset their large footprint by offering a space towards the rear for track and trains to pass through. That's pretty smart. Some of the earlier buildings offered by Menards were actually rebranded structures from Woodland Scenics. Most of those were plastic, but as far as I know, the current lineup is completely made up of Menards' own designs. They're also pretty good at tying together certain brands across their lineup. I've seen boxcars, flat cars, and trucks that would go with the Tide factory. They do the same thing with oil companies and candy companies. When Menards released locomotives a few years ago, making complete ready-to-run sets was the next logical step. The Evendale store had a few that went unsold during the Christmas season. The Sioux Line set was even $100 off. And that's what you will find at the Evendale Menards in southwestern Ohio in early February. So until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.